Let's turn the power on. Subscribe and stay tuned. For the basement side, guys, if you can leave the 3 conductor number 6 Lumax a nice gooseneck, that will be good. If not, leave a nice curve here, as long as not piano string, guys. When you do need some extra length from the junction box I just showed you, you can pull some length out easily. If you get the piano string, then there's no way around it. You have to re-pull the wire again. Other than that, it's pretty simple. Just follow the existing bundle all the way down to the electrical panel. But make sure you seal the house vapor barrier nicely so the vapor won't get inside. As you can see, the insulation is back to where it was before. The vapor barrier is nicely taped and sealed. We have enough length 3 conductor number 6 Lumax to terminate into this electrical panel. So here finally came the EV charger. Take a look inside here. So we're gonna terminate the red and black here and here, and here will be for the neutral conductor. As you can see, there's a hole, 1-inch hole for the terminating. A little bit bigger than I thought. I was thinking it should be the knockout type of terminating hole. So I'm gonna use this connector to connect the 3/4 inch of EMT to the EV charger. And here is the mounting bracket. I'm gonna mount on the side here. See the screw holes there? And those are the ferrules for the conductors. This looks to me a little bit thin for the current we need to carry. So looking back to the JB we installed before, looks like we don't need the JB anymore. We just replace the JB with this EV charger. I put the connector temporarily on and marked down roughly where the box should be. See the bottom? It's tightly connected. So here will be the roughly the bottom of the box. And then we measure the distance from the hole here to the mounting bracket, where the mounting bracket gonna be here. Then we can install this bracket somewhere on top of this backing plate. That is my plan. So here is where the mounting bracket should be. I'm gonna put 2 screws here and secure the mounting bracket on the plywood. Now let's take a look how I connected the EMT to the EV charger. You can see here it's tightly connected. I put a gasket here for the sealing, and from the inside you can see I have the plastic bushing here for protection. I also have the bracket, mounting bracket on the plywood already. Now let's get them connected. As you can see, I put a mounting screw on both sides already, and need to put another screw here, and then level it. The EV charger won't go anywhere after that. See, now the EV charger is squared here. Then get the drill ready and finish the last one. I swapped those skinny factory barrel with this heavier gauge barrel. So see, all the 3 barrels are there. Because this EV charger does not have a metal enclosure, so we don't need a bonding conductor, and there's no room for the bonding conductor also. But in case we need to change to another EV charger, maybe it has a metal enclosure, so we're gonna keep this bonding conductor somewhere here, but we have to make sure the bonding conductor is sitting here nicely, not bouncing around. If it touch to the terminals, we will have problems. On the back of the EV charger terminal blocks here, it does say use copper wire only, and those conductors where the terminals are need to be torqued properly to make good contact. This is how it looks like once we wrap the cable around the EV charger. Now I'm gonna to put all the cover plates back and see what it looks like. Guys, this is how it looks like after I put the cover back on the EV charger. Looks fantastic. Notice that I have to take that EMT strap out because right now it is the 1-inch hole rather than the 3/4 of an inch I was thinking before. So I need to put a thicker spacer there, then put the strap there to secure the EMT conduit. Looks fantastic. Before we can splicing the conductors together, we need to put some bushing here. As you can see, here is the gray plastic connector, but here is the 3/4 inch EMT connector. And the electrical code side conductor number 8 or larger need to have a mechanical protection against these sharp metal edges. So we need to put this to protect the conductors. Now we're going to use the wire connector to splicing the conductors together. Same color together, and also the grounding conductor. As you can see, because all the metal part need to be grounded, we need to make sure this grounding conductor is grounded, the box here. But conductor number 8 and bigger, we don't have a solid conductor anymore. It's not easy to wrap around the bonding screw, use this stranded conductor. That's why we are using this. I'm gonna show you in a second. I simply pull the grounding conductor through the stick-on connector, then compress that, use this stick-on plier. Now I can splice those two bonding together and still have a very good connection to the JB here. Guys, I put some wire connectors up and except this grounding. You can see I twist them really nice together. I don't know how better I can emphasize on this. Make sure you twist the conductors together very nicely. Remember, all the amps go through those connectors. Especially for this scenario, the two conductors are not the same size. You need the good pair of pliers, then some experience to make sure you have good connections here. This is very important. Now all the conductors are connected. See, there's nothing wrong to put some electrical tape around the connectors, so it will be safe in the long run. Once again, do the splicing first, the bushing, then the bonding for the box, and proper size of barrettes called wire connectors. Good connection, make sure that is very important. Then tape it. See, even if this is a bigger JB, now it's kind of full. You can check my other video about how to choose the size of the JB according to the number of the conductors and the connections. We put a label on the cover of the JB, so make sure everyone knows that is for EV charger only. Then get a pen, mark the breaker on the panel. So here, first, we need to take electrical panel cover off. As you can see, in this electrical panel, it is very busy. So that is the main breaker, and we're going to install our double pole 40 amp breaker right about here. So basically, we need to knock a hole here, get this blue mass cable inside of the panel, connect the grounding bar. I don't know if you can see it behind those wires, the neutral bar, and two hot bar to get the 240 volts there. So let's knock out the hole and put a connector there, then pull the Lumax through that connector. As you can see, I knock out the hole and put the gray connector there already, and strip the Lumax cable exactly how long it should be, so easier to pull the cable through that connector. The cable is in, it is a tight fit. As you can see, I terminated the bonding cable neutral cable already. So always bonding cable first, far in the back, and neutral cable second, kind of staying as close as possible to the back of the panel, then the two hot conductors, so can be like further this way. Because for the bonding cable, normally you don't need to take it out. Same thing as the neutral one, but the hot one, sometimes you need to swap location and to service the breaker. So for the two hot conductors, normally for this size big, I gonna to terminate those two to the breaker first, so roughly form the shape where it should be because it will be very tight to bend the cable to the breaker once the breaker is installed on the panel first. For the length of the conductor, normally make it long enough to reach any possible location in case you need to swap breaker. So like the length I have here should be long enough to reach to any of those breaker possible locations. You also need to measure the depth of the socket and strip the conductor slightly longer than the depth. So once the conductor is inside of the breaker, you can see just a little bit of a bare conductor, so you know you have good connections, and this part of the plastic in the breaker will protect you from accidentally shock. So you can see we formed the conductor already, and here you see slightly bit of a conductor, but it's fully protected by the plastic, not like those ones. Now I'm gonna to push this breaker into the electrical panel and make sure it's off. Alright, I pushed the breaker into the panel, and now let's clean up the cable, put some tie wraps there, so make sure it's not moving anywhere. So next, I'm going to knock two spacers out and put the panel cover back to electrical panel, flip the breaker, then check it out in the garage. Fingers crossed. Let's turn the power on. It works. Nice. And here it is what it looks like after everything finished. In addition, what I mentioned before, there are many other requirements, like marking and signage of the branch circuit. Disconnect means the choice of the receptacle and the enclosure type and ground fault requirements. Also, for the hazardous location, there are additional more requirements here.